We spend more time at work than anywhere else. So naturally, we start asking, how can I be happier here? More fulfilled, more productive. That's the word we hear over and over again. Productive, as if joy at work must always be earned. But what if it doesn't? What if joy, real, quiet, nourishing joy, doesn't come from what you do, but from how you exist in the space you're in? What if you could feel peace at work without being productive at all? This is a story about time management, goal setting, and climbing the ladder. This is a story about quiet joy, the kind that doesn't need permission. We've been sold a very narrow definition of what makes work meaningful. Visibility, results, and praise. The promotion, the high-stakes project, the recognition at the team meeting. All of those things can be wonderful, but they are loud joys, externally validated, easily measured, easily shared. Quiet joy is different. It isn't loud. It isn't tracked on performance reviews. And it certainly doesn't show up in your LinkedIn highlights. As an HR professional for over 10 years, I've witnessed the full spectrum of human experience in the workplace. The tears after layoffs, the exhaustion behind success. But I've also seen something else. Moments so small and peaceful. Most people miss them completely. A team member who always arrives 15 minutes early to make their tea. A quiet desk decorated with photos that no one else ever notices. The satisfaction on someone's face as they close their laptop on time without guilt. These are not the moments people post about. They don't make headlines or get you promoted, but they are real. They are restorative. They are quiet acts of reclaiming space in a world that demands you hustle. Because here's the truth, we don't say often enough. Your worth at work is not defined by how much you produce. Joy does not need a metric. Peace is not a performance. What would it look like if we started to honor these moments rather than overlook them? What if the quietest employees in the room were not just respected, but deeply valued? What if the question wasn't, how much did you get done today? But rather, did you have a moment of peace today? Did you breathe? Did you feel okay being here without proving anything? In all my years in HR, the best conversations I've had with employees were never about numbers. They were about meaning, about people realizing that their quiet presence mattered, about someone finally exhaling and saying, I don't want to be a star. I just want to feel okay here. And you know what? That's enough. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do at work is nothing. Just be. The rituals of quiet joy. There's something sacred about the small rituals we build into our work days. The things no one sees. The way you line up your pens. The 3 minutes you spend making your coffee just right. The quiet satisfaction of finishing a to-do list, not for applause, but for yourself. These aren't about productivity. These are about presence. And in a world where hustle is celebrated, these rituals are radical. Quiet joy at work isn't flashy. It doesn't trend. It happens in the in-between. Between the meetings, between the messages, between the need to prove your worth. Sometimes it looks like answering an email without rushing. Sometimes it's letting yourself sit in the break room with no podcast, no scrolling, just silence. Quiet joy teaches us this truth. You are not behind. You are not failing because you're not overloaded. You don't need to feel guilty for being calm. That stillness you're feeling, that's not laziness. That's self-trust. One of the greatest lies in corporate culture is that if you're not visible, you're not valuable. But some of the most centered, grounded people I've worked with weren't loud. They weren't overachievers. They didn't chase urgency. They had a rhythm, a pace that honored both the work and the human doing it. No shame, no extra hours, just closure. We've been taught that going above and beyond is the only way to matter. But what if staying within your boundaries is the most radical joy of all? What if peace doesn't come after the job is done, but while you're doing it, with grace, with patience, with presence? Here's what I've learned in 10+ years in HR. Most people don't need any further training. They don't need louder applause. They need permission. Permission to rest. Permission to stop performing. Permission to find joy in just being. And here's the secret. You don't need anyone else's permission to begin. Maybe quiet joy isn't about changing your job. Maybe it's about changing your relationship to it. Not every moment has to be optimized. Some are simply meant to be lived. And if all you did today was breathe, that might be enough. Make work worthwhile. Some people end their workday with a list of achievements. Others, they end it with an exhale. And both are valid. We've been told that success at work means constant output, endless improvement, results that can be measured, quantified, scored. But here's the truth. You're not a robot. You're not here to perform non-stop. You're here to experience, to contribute, to feel. Moments of stillness, reflection, breathing. Real engagement doesn't always look like raised hands and loud voices. Sometimes it's someone showing up, even when they didn't feel like it. Sometimes it's a smile no one notices, a moment of calm after a long week. Sometimes quiet joy is simply the absence of stress. I remember this moment. I've sat across from people breaking, not from failure, but from trying too hard to live up to a version of success that was never meant for them. They were tired of being driven, tired of smiling through burnout, tired of pretending that peace wasn't allowed in professional spaces. We need a new kind of work culture, one that values presence as much as productivity, that sees silence not as disengagement, but as reflection. That understands peace is not the reward at the end of a hard day, it's the right of every person inside of it. Quiet joy is not small, it's not weak, it's not settling. It's what keeps people coming back, it's what keeps hearts open, it's what makes work human, and maybe, just maybe, it's what we've been missing all along. So if you didn't finish everything today, if you didn't shine in the meeting, if all you did was show up, breathe, and be kind, that is enough. You are enough. And maybe the quietest joy, it is the one that doesn't ask you to prove anything at all.